Hey there, and welcome to A Well-Rounded Life, the podcast, a space for creative entrepreneurs seeking an intentional life and biz filled with grace, passion, and purpose. I'm your host, Jamira. I'm a mama, wife, dessert fanatic, and on the ultimate mission to get you closer to your idea of what it means to live a well-rounded life. Right here is where you'll find curated resources, quick tips, and relatable stories, no matter what season of life you're in. So hang out with me for a bit and let's dive in. Hey friend, welcome back to the show. Jamira here, and I am so thankful that you are kicking it with me today. Today's show is a first for A Well-Rounded Life. I don't just have one guest or even two guests. I have three guests. You heard me right. Today, I am sharing the mic with three badass boss ladies who I am blessed to call colleagues, clients, and friends. In our first ever panel discussion, I have three women joining me to share with us how they were able to pivot and be innovative in a season of uncertainty. You want to hear a bad joke? What do you get when you put a photographer, a wedding planner, and a floral designer in a room? The answer is pure magic. See, I told you it was a bad joke. But seriously, Terri Baskin, Veronica Epps, and Melissa Williams are all three creative entrepreneurs that capitalized on their working relationship to create an experience that was and still is much needed in the wedding industry. They share all about how they put their clients' needs first and how they came together to provide the best of the best. If you've been a well-rounder for a while now, you may be familiar with Terri Baskin, who was a guest back on episode 26. So be sure to cue that episode up to play after you hear this one because it's so good. We have a lot of goodness packed into today's show, so we are going to dive right in. Check out the show notes for the official bios and ways to connect with these ladies. Their details are also on the show's website, awellroundedlifepodcast.com. Let's get this party started and welcome Melissa, Terri, and Veronica to A Well-Rounded Life. Hi, ladies.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, so this is new for me. I have three guests, three amazing guests at that. And I have so much I want to chat with you guys about, so I'm going to just get down to it. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. So as I mentioned at the top of the show, I am dropping your bios in the show notes so everyone can read all about your accomplishments and all that jazz. However, Melissa, do me a favor and introduce yourself to our well-rounders.
Hi, I'm Melissa Williams. I'm the owner, lead planner, and designer for Be Astonished Events. I'm very passionate about planning dream weddings and luxurious events that deliver an astonishing experience for our clients and their guests.
Awesome. And if you guys are not following Melissa and her company Be Astonished on IG, you are totally missing out because everything that she touches turns to gold. And I just love watching the evolution of her company and everything that she's doing, because Melissa, you are killing it. Right. Veronica. Hello.
Hello.
So side note, Veronica is my BFF, like legit in real life, and she happens to be sitting next to me. And we've known each other since we were 8 years old. We've lived together and we've done all the things. So V, introduce yourself to my other friends that are listening and let them know why you are one of the most talented and one of my favorite people on the planet.
Well, thank you for the intro. My name is Veronica Epps. I am the lead designer of Pretty Petals Floral and Event Design. We're a full-service floral design studio in Northern Virginia, but of course we work wherever our lovely clients take us. We are passionate about creating beautiful designs, so I'm excited to be a part of your podcast. And yes, we've known each other forever, so literally been a part of everything in each other's lives.
You're getting old. The Terri Baskin. Welcome back, two-timer, to A Well-Rounded Life. And for those that don't know, Terri is hands down one of the most talented photographers you will ever come across. And she is also one of the most humble people that you will meet. So I give her a hard time and I troll her by calling her the Terri Baskin because she's just phenomenal. Her work is just bomb and she deserves to be acknowledged. So Terri, for our new listeners, tell them a bit about yourself.
Well, thanks for having me back. My name is Terri Baskin. I am a DC area wedding photographer, but I also photograph weddings wherever my clients take me. I consider myself an authentic storyteller. I am an educator and a speaker for creative entrepreneurs, and I am a lover of all things Oreo cookies.
Indeed. Now I want Oreos with milk. All right. Awesome. Veronica, we're going to start with you.
Okay.
So what were your initial thoughts when it started to be very clear that a traditional 2020 wedding season was just not going to happen? It was out of the question.
Oh, where do I begin? So I actually was able to kick off 2 weddings at the beginning of the year, which was exciting, great. We were able to get through those. And actually, when 2020 started to take a turn, it was a wedding that I actually had with Melissa. And it was literally every day something was changing. It would go from we need smaller guests to maybe we need to move the venue to maybe we need to cancel this altogether to what are we going to do? And then it would just started to trickle down from this wedding in April to weddings in May and then weddings in June. And then I think it finally hit me that we were just not going to have any weddings this year or any traditional weddings. So it was scary, looking at where income is going to come from, what you're going to do, how you're going to, pay your bills or get through even just the next month. So it was a scary feeling. I think we kind of balanced out a little bit, but in the moment I had probably no clarity or trying to figure out where we were going.
Right. I know a lot of vendors and creatives listening can definitely resonate with that. And they probably did the same thing, adjusting, moving, changing. And then now I know a lot of people are, sitting still, trying to figure out, what's next. Melissa, you ladies have been trailblazers in some of the first group of vendors here in the DMV to offer intimate wedding celebrations. So can you tell us a bit about the unique offer that was created for couples that were impacted by COVID?
Of course. The offer is called Just the Two of Us. I launched Just the Two of Us back in April of 2020 with some amazing vendors. And what the offer offers is planning and coordination by myself and my team. It offers a customized ceremony. So we customize the ceremony to tailor to the event. A wedding officiant, we partnered with Leora. And it also offers wedding photography by the Terri Baskin and a bouquet and boutonniere by Veronica. We also do custom champagne flutes for our couples and so they can toast after their ceremony. Instagram highlight video by B. Williams Productions and a wedding cake provided by Jenny Baked It. So it's a nice little package. And then I had some additional vendors that joined us with the package, and I was so thankful for them. So Markia, she joined us for makeup. So we had a lot of couples that used Markia services for that. And then we also had Serena that also joined us with hair, and a couple of other vendors with music and all the extra. So it's definitely been really exciting. Every Just the Two of Us has been unique and different, which is kind of what I really loved about each of them. So looking forward to finishing them out and continuing to see the package grow.
What I love about the offer is that the couples still get to have all the vendors that they would traditionally have, for a wedding, and even like some of the nice venues that you guys have worked at, and all of that is still present with the offer. And so I think that's amazing that you were still able to work with the client so that they still got, the bride, for example, would still get her hair done, makeup, they would still have a cake and all of that. So I think that's awesome. And so do you remember the beginning conversations and how the package just came to be? I don't want to call it a package, but the offer, because as you mentioned, all of them are very unique and customized. So how did all of that come to be amongst yourself and your partners?
Of course. So initially, I had a wedding client that Veronica mentioned earlier who was to get married on April 25th, 2020 at the Ritz-Carlton in Pentagon City. And unfortunately, COVID came about and came really strong in the beginning. And unfortunately, they had to postpone their wedding. For that couple in particular, it was very important to them to still get married, being as though they still wanted to exchange vows and get married with each other. I called Terri, and we all kind of came together, Terri and Veronica, and we hosted their wedding in DC. And back in April, venues were not open, technically. Mm-hmm. So, because they had just all shut down. So we were lucky enough to find a space in DC. So blessed to have them for it. It was a really nice wedding, very nice story for the the couple. They had guests surprise them. So that was really kind of cool. Guests the bride didn't know about the surprise, so the groom kind of planned it. So some of their guests from their initial wedding came and did kind of like a drive-by. So it was really cool to see it kind of unfold, and just to know that like love is what's most important. So still continuing to set those vows and get married during a time of so much uncertainty. So it was really special to see the couples to still commit to one another and exchange vows and get married with each other.
I love that. So the couples were able to keep their same wedding date, which I know for a lot of people, the wedding date itself has sentimental value. So that's awesome.
Especially for that couple, because the date they got married was also the date they started their relationship. So it was very important to them.
That's awesome. Terri, what advice would you give someone that is hoping to be a part of a team and collaborate with others and maybe not do this exactly, but something similar?
Mm-hmm. I think being a part of a team requires collaboration. I think it requires like a certain synergy where you all are working together in unison, in sync, so that the ultimate goal is met, and that's satisfying the clients. Mm-hmm. So it requires open communication, knowing that, one thing could affect something else. It requires just being friendly and getting along and working well together are a few things that I think requires being a part of a great vendor team, but definitely people that you respect and have a great relationship with is helpful as well.
Yeah, we always talk about the importance of communication and how everybody has to be on the same page and everyone needs to know what's going on so that the whole team, as you mentioned, can be in sync and, show up for the couple. So those are great points. And Veronica, what benefits do you feel collaborating and partnering brings to the client and the vendor partners as well?
I think for the client, what has been really amazing about this team is that we have tried really hard to have every wedding look as different as possible. So we really wanted the clients to feel like their wedding was unique, even though the elements of what they were doing was the same. So we allow them the open space to pick things like colors and florals or type of cake they want or images that they're looking to have shot. So I feel like this team has been great about allowing the clients to be a part of our collaboration. Working with this team specifically has been awesome for me. It's a group of superstars. So it's so great to have obviously great images, working with Melissa, who has a great eye for design and really wants to see the couple story kind of play out in their wedding day so that pushes me more to want to create something that's going to match that level of that level of experience that the client wants. So It has really been a great experience for me to work amongst this team.
Great points, because by working with a group, you guys can sit down, have conversations, and figure out how you can take it to the next level or do something different that hasn't been done before. And so I love how you guys do have such a great partnership so that you can have those authentic conversations as well. Terri, what tips do you have for clients when they are selecting and considering the people to bring aboard to execute their wedding?
For clients, I would definitely make sure they've seen the vendor's body of work, meaning like they've seen what the vendor can produce. I would recommend that they find someone who does produce things like in the same style that they're looking for, meaning if you've seen something that they produced on their website or on their social media pages, you obviously know they can do that work. If there's something outside of what you've seen, you can certainly ask if that's something that they're able to create. And then also trust the vendors. So when they're looking for a vendor team, if you're paying them, trust the vision that you've given them, trust them to execute it. And those are the most important things, I think. The tips that I would offer when selecting the vendor team, definitely someone that does work that you like, definitely someone that you could trust with your vision.
No, that's a great point. You definitely want to make sure they can execute your dream. And I know that's why it's super important that your social media and website and those things should be up to date with the latest and greatest things that you produce as a creative, so that people know that you can deliver on what their wildest dream may be. Melissa, what general vendor etiquette would you say is important when working together on a day and prior to an event and just post-event, all the things? What do vendors need to consider when working with a team?
So I think the number one priority is just making sure that communication, I think communication is very key. So especially prior to an event, I like to communicate with all the vendors. Like typically I'll send out a timeline, but I also like to, get on the phone with the vendors just so they can have, if it's working with the vendor that I'm not accustomed to, so they get to know me beforehand. But like within this, just the two of us partnership, it's been great to, when I send the timeline out, I also, will give Terri or Veronica a call just to make sure that we have everything together on our end and that we're well prepared for the event. If there's any last minute changes, I think it's always like a planner's responsibility to make sure they relay that message to the vendor team prior to the event. So that way there's no vendors walking into any surprise that they're not aware of on the wedding day. And then I would say like during the event, just making sure, continuing to communicate with one another, continuing to respect one another, making sure like, hey, if it's staying out of the way of the photographer, making sure they can get their shot, same with video, and just, being cautious of time and just making sure that the client gets their worth. So for me on a wedding day, it's very important to me that the client feels that, that they trusted their vendors, like Terri mentioned earlier. So just making sure that we're all on the same accord. And then I would say like post-event, usually I will always, give the vendors a call, make sure I thank them. If we get any sneak peeks, I'll make sure like, all the vendors get those that were a part of the event, so everyone feels included. And just making sure if there's any, I would say, not every event is perfect. And sometimes if there's something that I saw that a vendor could have done better on the day of the event, I definitely always like to give feedback and always like to take feedback as well for myself and my team. So I will reach out to a vendor and say, hey, during this time, just for future events, can you make sure X, Y, and Z happens, or, something like that. So I think it's very important to always like follow up with each other post event. For me, I actually do a exit interview with all of my clients, not for just the two of us offer, but for like my full and partial planning services, I do like a post interview where I call it an exit interview. And that's where we sit down and, kind of rate all the vendors and go through, I always ask for feedback from my team just so, we can do better the next time. And yeah, so I think for vendors, it's just very important to communicate.
Right.
And always, I've been very lucky enough to work with so many amazing vendors that I have their cell numbers. So
Right.
I can just call them up. So, it's just a click, type in my phone, give them a call real quick. So that's been, especially during this time, I've had to postpone quite a bit of weddings, and it's been a blessing that all of my weddings were booked with preferred vendors of mine. So it's made the transition easy when postponing the weddings.
Right. No, that's so important, because you definitely have built a community tribe of trusted partners that your clients can feel confident knowing will execute. And so I always say people should build their team so that everyone's on the same accord and everyone knows what needs to happen in order to just execute. And so, Veronica, what are you enjoying most about doing something like Just the Two of Us, something that's not your everyday run-of-the-mill event?
So I've loved being able to create. So just being in the studio, spending time with Floral, I think that had this year gone a different way, or had I not been a part of this team, I probably wouldn't have had as much of an opportunity to still push my creative juices. But I think specifically to Just the Two of Us, I love the story that we're telling, that you don't have to cancel your wedding. You don't have to cancel your love, that we want you to still have this beautiful day. And sure, it has to be modified, but it doesn't have to not happen.
Right.
And working with this group of creatives has been awesome for me. Like I said, it continues to push me.
You make a great point too, that when you do decide to pivot and change and do something else, it still allows you to do what you love. And so, I want to encourage anyone that feels in a funk, or if you're a photographer and you haven't shot anything, or if you're a planner or a designer and you haven't designed anything, try to find something that brings you joy so that you can still stay just top notch with your craft. And even if it's a passion project, get up, get out there, and don't get stale, because there are people working and they are still creating, and you want to make sure you're keeping up, if not passing those people. And Terri, what have you learned about yourself as a business owner during this time of uncertainty?
Oh, wow. I've learned a lot about myself. As a business owner, I've learned that it's okay to pivot. It's important to have other streams of income,
right,
to help you through times of uncertainty. I've learned that it's okay to change what your offerings look like to fit the times of uncertainty or the times that we're in. I've also learned that, sometimes it requires you to be still for a moment, to pause and think about what's working and what's not and what needs to be adjusted, and then make those, adjustments in order to move forward. And it allows like new opportunities and new offerings like Just the Two of Us to come about, just having a little bit of time to kind of think and process what's happening right now. But then also planning ahead is important as a business owner. So that way, when there are times like these, if there's ever anything like this again, I hope not. But if there's ever any other types of disruptions in business, that, you have a way around it, or that you can manage your way through it.
That was so good. And you just reminded me about when I said passion project earlier, and then you were mentioning pivoting. You also did something that was really cool with your 10 with friends, which it was nice to feel connected to other vendors and to see new smiling faces each week on your Instagram feed. And, I feel like people got to see another side of you, and we got to meet new people through you and your friends. And so again, it's just do something creative, do something that you might not have done before, but now is the time to just do something that brings you joy, for sure. And so, Melissa, what are you most looking forward to in this next season of your life and everything you have going on with work, family, and all the things?
I would say a couple of things. One of the things I'm looking forward to, so I don't know, it's kind of next season, it is fall, is actually we've kind of taken the Just the Two of Us to another level, and we're doing 3 of them in one day. I'm really looking forward to that because it's definitely more a elaborate design. We're adding in some extra details and just a couple of other things that we have not done with the previous Just the Two of Us. Mm-hmm. So I'm really looking forward to that day and just seeing how it unfolds, because I've never hosted like 3 weddings in one day. So
following you around.
Definitely. Definitely looking forward to that. And then I did just currently get back from Cabo, Mexico, and I'm working on some new like destination packages. So I'm looking forward to doing more destination weddings because I love to travel.
Yes, you do, and we love watching all the fun unfold, and even the beauty you've created in Mexico and all the places you have visited has been amazing. So again, you guys have to follow these ladies on Instagram because they're always doing something fun and something innovative. And Veronica, what's going on in your world?
Well, I think that personally, my husband and I are, James, we're in the process of trying to start a family. So I'm excited to see where that kind of plays out. That's actually been a huge part of my life recently. And so ready to start growing our family and taking our little duo to the next level. And then on the business side, I'm excited to actually execute our 2020 weddings. So I had some amazing weddings with Melissa. We had some awesome weddings on the books with some other vendors. So I'm excited to actually see those play out because we had some cool stuff that we had never done before or people hadn't seen in us before. And I really want to be able to showcase what that was looking like. So
that's great. And last but not least, Terri, what is happening in the next season of your life?
Well, the next season of my life, I am still photographing the weddings that should have happened this season. So
that part.
So a lot of my weddings were moved to 2021. So that's still fun and exciting because I'm looking forward to working with those couples. But I think with each wedding, I try and push myself a little bit harder to definitely capture their unique story, but then also push myself to do something different with each wedding, still being true to the couple, but then also challenging myself to think differently. I want to do more in my business with the educational side. I have a few more conferences that I'll be speaking at in the coming year. So I'm excited about that. And then I want to write a book. And so I'm just going to put that out into the universe. And so maybe one day I will get going with that.
Yes. Can we get this book? Because I'm excited to read it. And let's see. So here's a question I like to ask people as well. And I'll start with you, Melissa. On a personal level, what are you saying no to in order to say yes to what matters most in this upcoming season? And I'm saying that because Melissa always has 1,001 things going on. And so I really want to know, Melissa, what are you saying no to so that you can say yes to all the good things that you do have on the horizon?
I haven't said no to anything yet. like I need to, but that's a tough one for me. Well, I'm working on saying no. I think my books are pretty full for next year. So I do want to take some more, personal time and self-care, do more spas. And then we've talked about expanding our family one day soon, not this year. So I'm just taking more personal time to, prepare for that. Yeah, I haven't said no yet, but it's
so now we have to hold you accountable to say
yes. Please hold me accountable to say no.
No. And Veronica, what do you need to say no to?
Oh, I think the biggest thing for me would be all the distractions. I think it's safe to say that 2020 has been the ultimate surprise year. I was trying to keep it PG. I'll let Phil have his have the explicit episode.
I know where you're going.
But it has definitely been it has been an interesting year to say the least. And so it's easy to get hung up in that, the negativity, distracted by the news and the media and social media and where everything is going.
That's good. Distractions. I think a lot of us can cut out the noise and distractions because the world will open it back up.
Yeah.
But then what are we going to have to show for it? Like, I get it. Terri Baskin, what are we saying no to so we can say yes to you getting that book out and getting that education stuff. I'm not even gonna
know.
say popping because you're already popping, but what do we need to say no to?
No, unfortunately I've had to say no to people. I've had to say no to projects, simply because I am the type that is used to packing my calendar, like jam packing my calendar, and it's not allowing me time to, one, just to rest and reflect and recharge. I've had to say, no to projects and opportunities that in the long run, I wasn't sure if that would help with some of my goals.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the good news with that is that I love sharing a name or names of other people that I think could be, that could benefit, or they could help, whoever's looking for someone like myself. So just saying no to things that don't allow me to continue to be my best self in terms of just being able to give it all with every event, every wedding, and then even in my personal life, I want Melissa to plan my wedding one day, or whoever, and whoever's planning weddings at that point. So, I have to make sure I just say no to things so that I can still enjoy some personal time as well.
Oh, that's all so good. And so I want to encourage anyone that is listening to say no to the things that are in the way of doing the things that you want to do, because this is a great time to really start thinking about how you can pivot, elevate, and do more of the good stuff. And no pun intended, but live more well-rounded so you can enjoy the fruits of your labor. Thank you, ladies, for sharing with the audience today. Melissa, where can we find you on IG?
At Be Astonished Events.
Awesome. Veronica, where are you?
At Pretty Petals Florals.
Terri Baskin.
I'm at Terri Baskin. That's Terri with an I, Baskin.
I'm going to get her a shirt that says that's Terri with an I, Baskin. Love it. All right, friends. So go follow and support these ladies, my friends, colleagues, sisters in creativity, and take a screenshot and tag at Coach for Creative so we can say hi. And lastly, if you're not subscribed to the weekly roundup, which is our weekly newsletter, then you are missing out on the fun, because each week I share a quick email to my insiders with the best tips, resources, and my favorite finds. And the link to sign up is all in the show notes, and all of the details about this episode, what these ladies are offering and their businesses, will be on the website, awellroundedlifepodcast.com. I'll be back next week with a freshly brewed episode dedicated to helping you live well-rounded. Until then, come say hi, hang out with us on IG, stay safe, and we will chat with you soon. Bye. Friends, thanks for kicking it with us this week. Remember to subscribe so you're notified when a new episode airs. I'd love it if you leave us a review and share this goodness with your squad. Until next time, seek a well-rounded life and remember to focus on what matters most.